You know, waking up in the morning can be really tough to do. And what is part of the tough aspect of waking up? You know, it's going from darkness to light. And for 7 or 8 hours, our eyes have gotten used to seeing darkness, to being in the dark. And then when we turn on the light for the first time, or the sunlight comes in through our windows for the first time in the morning, our eyes react. You know, we want to close our eyes, and our eyeballs kind of are burning from the light. And it takes time. You know, our eyes squint, and we want to return under our covers back to the darkness. And it takes time for us to be used to living in the light again. You know, and this is what Jesus is saying in our gospel today. He says, you know, people whose deeds are evil, they enjoy being in the darkness because that is what they are used to. You know, and when we make the transition as Christians from a life of evil deeds and sin and darkness and bad habits and error and ignorance, when we move from that to a relationship with Christ, who is the light of the world, who has a brilliant and an illuminating presence and light, just like how our eyes require some time in the morning to adjust, in a similar way, when we move from the darkness of sin and error into the light of Christ, there may be a period of adjustment where there is some resistance within us, when our body says, you know, it's difficult to be a Christian, where we even prefer actually going back to the darkness because that's what we are used to. But Jesus tells us, no, this is not what we are called to do. We are called to be the light of the world. This is what he says. He says of his followers, you are the light of the world. And so we are called to live in the light. But just be patient with yourself as you move from darkness to light, as we move from our old ways and bad habits and sin into the light of Christ. There may be a period of transition, just like in the morning when our eyes need some time to get used to the light of a new day. But the good news is we never want to live in darkness. Who would want to be in darkness all the time? It's good for a period of time when we sleep, but we want to be living in the light. This is where we see the beauty of creation. This is where we see the faces of our friends and our families, when we can, you know, see artwork and beautiful food. And we want to be living in light. And in the same way, we want to be living as Christians in the light of Christ. So brothers and sisters, as we move from darkness to light, there may be some resistance, but be patient and persevere and always seek the light of Christ, because we want to live in the light of his love, and we want to have the fullness of life. As Jesus has said to us, I came that you may have the fullness of life. And the fullness of life is life in the light of Christ. May God bless you.